Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 181 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We're brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline. You got website design, SEO, Google Ads, graphic design, printing. We can absolutely help with anything. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing or on Instagram at Black Belt Digital Marketing, the full name. Our website is bbdigitalmarketing.com. You can request a free review of your online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a black belt training out of Coral Springs, BJJ in Coral Springs, Florida. Don't forget to like, comment, save, share, click the subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. Joining us today, we have Wade Powers, John Bailey, two law enforcement officers from
Gwinnett County.
Are you in the same department? Gwinnett County. So just bear with us for a little bit. We're going to do some shout outs and then we'll bring you in. Ben, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ben Stark. I'm a third-degree black belt from the illustrious and world-famous American Top Team, head coach and owner of American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens. If you are in the North Palm Beach area and you are looking for the absolute best in mixed martial arts training, come by American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens. We'll get you where you need to be. Beyond that, we support our sport. Check out fighttape.us for the absolute best in fight tape and gauze. If you are a cornerman, coach, fighter, or just a general athlete, chances are you are using athletic tape already. Save the cash, ignore the big brands. Go to fighttape.us. Higher quality products, lower prices. Get yours there. Oh, promo code JJD, save 10%. Hey!
We got that last time. We got to remind Bo to put that up. Are you a top team? Are you trained at American Top Team, or you're from? Yeah. What was the association with Mike Brown? And I know we're going to get into it more during the podcast, but are you an American Top Team guy, or you just associate with them?
Just associate with them.
Just okay. Yes. All right. I didn't know if you were training at an American Top Team somewhere. No. Okay.
Gwinnett County.
All right. It's when you walked in, I thought you were like, yeah, American Top Team. I know.
Well, I saw when you posted him, I saw that he was in an ATT shirt, so I was like, we haven't met. What's up?
All right. A couple more shout outs. We're also brought to you by academysafe.org. Academy Safe is a nonprofit whose mission is to clean up the martial arts by advocating for background checks, U.S. Center for Safe Sport certifications, and concussion training for all coaches and staff members. We also verify lineage, looking at business insurance, make sure you have security cameras, a whole host of things, about 8 things that an academy owner's got to do. We want not just to do a background check on the owner, we're doing a background check on the owner and all staff members over 18 years old. So check us out at academysafe.org. Get your academy signed up. If you're a parent, if you're somebody who's doing martial arts already and you're moving, you're looking for a new academy, you can either register your academy as an owner, or you can find a list of academies in your area that have gone through the program or are in the process of going through. We only list them after they get their background checks done. But after that, look for the accreditation right at the top of the page. If it says that they're fully accredited, that means that they've checked every box and are fully accredited with academysafe.org. You can use, if you're an academy owner, use code JJD5, F-I-V-E. Enter that at checkout. You get a couple of dollars off your membership. Also wanted to shout out Flow and Roll. Hands down the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. You can visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll. Check out their custom designs they've created for academies and competitors across the country. Gym owners, you can stock up on your gis and no-gi kits at flowandroll.com. They have a great pre-order program. If you're a new gym owner, ask them about that. You can visit their website at flowandroll.com. Get 20% off your online order with code JJD. I just booked my ticket yesterday for IBJJF Vegas. Oh, going to be hanging out in the Flow and Roll booth.
Don't lie, you're going to be hanging out at the Win on the $5 table.
I'm going to be hanging out at the booth. Just chatting people up. He always has a banner.
I'll be at Fremont Street eating fried Oreos alone.
Yeah, right. All right. Once again, welcome, Wade and John. I appreciate you guys coming out. Now, officially, there is a Sergeant Wade Powers.
Yes, sir.
And Major John Bailey.
Do you guys prefer to be called by your rank in everyday life?
Absolutely not.
Oh, man. I thought you were going to say absolutely. I got excited.
Yeah. I tell the younger guys at the gym, if you ever see me out with a girl, I just want you to come over to me, say, hi, professor, bow, right, and walk away. Don't say anything. I'll take it from there. You're gonna be helping me out. But yeah, man, welcome. I appreciate you guys coming down. Again, you guys are both part of the Gwinnett County
Police Department.
Yep. Okay. One of my favorite subjects is talking about jiu-jitsu. Tell me a little bit. Let's kind of start with each of you. Like, you're talking about your start in the martial arts. when did you get your start? And then we'll bring it full circle and talk about the departments and stuff like that. Wade, why don't you go first?
Okay. Yeah, I started in 2007 at Milledgeville Academy of Mixed Martial Arts under Frank Mullis while I was at Georgia College and State University. Trained all the way through there up to purple belt.
Give me wrestler feels. You give me like you wrestled. No?
Everybody always thinks that.
I don't know.
Right?
You got that
But
wrestler
I did
vibe.
not wrestle.
Yeah.
Did not wrestle. Even my jiu-jitsu style is kind of wrestle heavy.
Okay.
Everybody always thinks I'm a wrestler, but I never wrestled in high school. We didn't even have a high school wrestling program.
No. Oh, geez. Where'd you grow up in Georgia?
I actually grew up in Florida.
Oh, you grew up in
Polk
Florida.
County, Florida.
Where?
Yep. Small town called Fort Meade,
Okay.
right
Where's
outside
that?
of Lakeland.
West side? Is it the west
It's
side?
like in between Orlando and
In Tampa, right in between.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then so to continue.
And then from there, I moved up to Gwinnett County
Okay.
to work at the department and
Specifically-
started training. It was at first ATT Gwinnett County.
Okay. There you go. See?
Yeah, there's
ATT.
some lineage, yeah. And then it changed names, of course, to Gwinnett Training Academy.
Okay.
And that's where I got my black belt under Amir Dadovich.
Okay. So what came first? So you were on the force and then you started training jiu-jitsu?
No, I was training jiu-jitsu. I was still in college.
Okay.
So
all right.
by the time I got to the department, I was already, when I started my law enforcement career 10 years ago, I was a purple belt then.
What was that when you get into the academy? What was the defensive tactics portions of the? We're jumping in already.
Were you the instructor?
Were you there already?
I was the defense.
Tell us how you feel.
Yeah,
We'll wait till we're all
they were.
there, right?
So the impression is that things were pretty shitty. So they were. I mean,
No,
we
what's
kind of
the-
know that the mandates come down from the state
That's
typically, right?
A lot of them are, but
And
you know,
it's-
our department, we always went well above and beyond. So we always try to make it better than what it was, anything from the state that they required of us. So we did a good job with that. There were just places where it lacked, you know what I'm saying? And that's just not, it's just, you don't know what you don't know yet, you know,
Yeah.
and getting the right guys in the right place to get everything going. We always, like I said, we're above and beyond, but you know, defensive tactics, it's hard in the law enforcement side of things because you have the mandates of things you have to do. An officer has to do this. You have to shoot so many times a year. You have to qualify this. You have to do that. DT is like for the state of Georgia, you know, one time you do it in the academy, you get certified, and then technically you're done.
Never again.
Never again, right? But as a department, we always made you do more, right? We always made you come back and do at least some things.
Yeah.
And it was good, but you know, we knew that we could grow and increase and be better with that.
So this is a question I think we pretty consistently have. Like everyone that goes up through the ranks, I'm assuming started out on the beat, on the street, dealing with people. So how could they not know that the DT requirements were subpar? You'd think a guy who maybe is now on a desk, but 5 years ago was on the street is going to go, oh, I remember XYZ. Like we need to do more.
Well, I think
what's
it's again, it
required.
goes, I'm going to answer that with saying you probably don't know what you don't know. It's just like, well, somebody's trying to fight me. I need to fight
not
them
saying
back.
specifically
you know?
like jiu-jitsu or anything, but just saying like the training that we have once in academy and then at most again once or twice a year, I am not proficient at controlling a body, or I can't get someone taken care of without striking them using a baton or using a taser.
Well,
You know, like why would it have taken so long?
I think you have to think about in a law enforcement and a police officer's career, right? You have so many things you've got to train and be proficient at, right? You got to be proficient in your firearm. You got to be proficient. Nowadays, you almost have to have a degree in psychology, right? To be able to work out and deal with people on the street. There's so many different things. And I think that it's not that they didn't see that, everybody across the board. I think it's just, it's making it fit, making it work. And I think that is where we're growing and getting better. Over the years, we got better and better and better and better at it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was just putting more emphasis on it, right?
Now, obviously, a station to station or station is right.
Precincts and stuff like that. Yep.
Would be like the way they use their budgets. Is that dictated by the state, or that's dictated what they get, and then within the building, they're allowed to make their own choices on how it's spent?
No, we you know, we're funded by the county, the tax dollars. So no, we get to do pretty much, you know, as far as that. Now there are certain things, you know, there's a governing body of the state of Georgia for training. It's called POST, Peace Officer Standards of Training. So you have to follow the rules of POST. But we in Gwinnett, so we did it, talking about like going out and doing, when you go to like a state academy, it's a lot different. We have our own academy in Gwinnett County. So we do everything in-house, and I was a full-time instructor. So all of our instructors are Gwinnett County police officers. So we've went through the department. We trained specifically for our department to make our department the best we can. So it's a little bit different. when it comes to that.
So let's go back and talk about how did you get your start in the martial arts?
So just like that, I came over to the police academy, 2000.
Some purple belt show up and try to beat you up.
That's right. This guy, right? So I'd been with the police department. I'd been with the department for 24 years. And so at that point in time, I'd been there. It was 2015. So I'd been there like 14 years with the department, done a lot of different things. And I got assigned to training for full time. And when I went to training, man, I loved it. I fell in love with all the different aspects of training. And I went to a defensive tactics instructor course, right? Became a defensive tactics instructor. Like I said, it's being a defensive tactics instructor. You would think that sounds phenomenal, but it lacks. There's a lot of holes in that game, right? You go for a 40-hour a week course, and they call you a defensive tactics instructor, right? So because of that, I knew that I had to be better at something. I had to get better and stuff. So I went to the department and said, hey, can we because our ground fighting portion in the academy was kind of lower. So I went to the Gracie Survival Tactics. I went to level 1, level 2 instructor, Gracie Survival Tactics, man. And that was huge. And I didn't have a martial arts background or anything at the time, right? So went to that, fell in love with that. Again, got promoted, moved out of training a couple of different times. And that's when I finally started training full-time in jiu-jitsu after that. But that led me to it 100%.
So you're already on the job. You're in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've been on the job for a long time. Yeah, I started late in training jiu-jitsu, right? I was 38 years old, I guess, when I started. 45 now. So it's kind of
like this whole world opens up.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I don't know if you get them, but we've had plenty of, LEO guys in here, and they all say pretty much the same things. And then we have precincts like Jacksonville, which mandate a blue belt to be on the force. So if the instructors are interested in, like, I guess, stepping the game up, going above and beyond, what kind of advice or what kind of direction would you steer them in to get their, I guess, departments to kind of go along with them?
Exactly kind of the thing we did. You have to have someone first, an advocate for like jiu-jitsu, right, in the department. You have to have something that's really going and sees how good that is, and want to implement it inside the department. And for us, we have some good people in the right places, right time. And then I think you just have to have in a department, man, you have to have a command staff that is willing to go into it and be part of it. You know what I'm saying? And be for it.
Meaning the officers, the leaders of the room,
the leaders of the department, right? Have to be
the front
100%. And then again, you have to have someone, I think, that kind of steps out and says, hey, we need this program, right? In which we did. So
now, how could we differentiate, i.e. bringing someone like ourselves, you guys that have jiu-jitsu experience, into a department to teach jiu-jitsu to police versus working along with the police to develop an LEO specific jiu-jitsu curriculum that can be done, I guess, for the officers, ideally at the precinct, but if need be in a local facility.
Yeah. So that's exactly, I'll talk about that a little bit. So across the nation, you saw departments that were making full-time jiu-jitsu programs. And Marietta PD in Georgia was one of the ones close to us that had started a full-time program, and they've been on all kinds of different stuff, and it's been great for them. The thing with them is they're a smaller department, way smaller than us. We have 750 officers roughly right now.
It's a hell of a competition.
It is, right? Exactly. I mean, if we get them all on board, man, it would be awesome.
Nice.
And so we had such a large department. So doing the same things that they did wasn't necessarily going to work for us, because they did what you just said. They sponsored with a local gym, and they just paid that gym and let their officers come train full time in that gym. Well, there's no gym that's going to house, if all of our officers,
they would all
train,
try.
They would try. I agree, right?
That contract would be sweet.
Oh yeah, I'm sure my gym would love that, but they wouldn't. It was something we had to do. So we decided to explore different options, and for us, we decided to do it in house. That way, it would just be easier for us to do. And the blessing that we had is we had someone like Wade Powers, who was a black belt already in the department. So that was a blessing.
Were you still on the street at that point, and then they kind of took you off?
So I was with our gang unit then at the time.
Were you like, dude, this is going to be boring?
No,
I don't have to work with these guys in the gym.
I was like, I thought it was a pipe dream when he first came to me about it. I was like,
dude, it is the dream, right?
Right,
it is the dream for a jiu-jitsu
right?
guy.
I was like, this is a pipe dream. We talked about it, and I was like, no way this could happen, right? And I was like, if it does, I was thinking like, we're years down the road, for them. I don't know how the command staff like them and the powers that be, I know there's a lot of stuff that has to go into that, to implementing something like that. And it was like 2 months later, he called me. He's like, hey, you still want to do this? And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Yeah. So, all right. I think it was like, what, you gave me 3 weeks notice?
That's right.
It'll be over in 3 weeks.
Were you a standout like during the academy? Was it like, hey, Wade can show you how to do that? Was any of that happening?
Yeah, honestly, we
He
were
looks
talking.
at it.
It was funny because we were talking about that just last night. When we came up, we was like, "Yeah, man." When he was in the academy, he kind of laid low, right? He's a military guy. He knows what's up, so he just stays low and did his thing. But he always did very good.
It's supposed to be like the middle. You stay in the
That's
middle
right.
of the pack,
That's
right?
right.
Keep your mouth shut.
You don't want to be the last one. You don't want to be the first one. Stay
but
in the
always
middle.
solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he was really good in the academy, man, and we had good times.
Did you know that he had a black belt? Like, was it?
So at the time,
did he even
didn't. You
disclose?
were purple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what
did
I
he
said.
disclose that he had been doing jiu-jitsu? Or?
So you know what was awesome about him is even when we did like the ground fighting portion, and I, here I am, a guy that's teaching defensive tactics, but I didn't have the degrees, the stuff that he had, right? But he was more offered help than he did. He kind of kept quiet. He knew what to do. He wasn't going to get in there and show
No.
everybody
He was
up.
in the back. He goes, "Wrong."
Yeah, exactly. 100%. He was like,
What are
is
we even
this guy?
doing
gonna
here,
work.
guys?
This guy doesn't know anything, right?
You just hear this.
Yeah.
I guess that's one way of doing it.
That's great, but if
Yeah.
you did the complete opposite,
Yeah, one of those. Can I show you something else that might work?
Yeah.
One of those kind of things. But no, he did great in that, and so it was good. But afterwards, that when we were trying, so we tried for years to try to get something going, and it's just the right things had to fall in place, I guess is the right way to put it.
Yeah.
And when the right things fell in place, it was great. But I knew all along, like if we're going to have a program, someone he hadn't have his black belt quite yet. He was a brown belt when I really was trying to get this thing up and going, and then he got his black belt, and then that's when things really started to go up for that.
So
getting to do that
in those 3 weeks, did you guys sit down and kind of build at least the first month or so of a curriculum, or was the plan to teach jiu-jitsu?
Just teach jiu-jitsu. I mean, that first month, you've got everybody coming in that's completely green, beginner 101. So you're like, well, I've got to teach everybody how to do a shrimp,
Yeah.
forward roll, a back. I mean, you're
How
starting
to
from
fall.
Way more difficult than one might think at times.
absolutely.
a lot more difficult,
Wait,
right?
absolutely.
My coaching experience had actually always been more on the MMA side, and most of my fighters were already, that when I even started, just stroke of luck, we're already pro. So it's more like finessing things, right? Like, let's fix this one small thing. Then you have to start teaching beginners and building it from the ground up. It's a whole different animal.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Is there a curriculum? Do you have a written curriculum now?
I have guidelines as far as that I've written down what I want to see for like my beginners, white belt to blue belt, right? And then more advanced techniques, but I teach it like a standard jiu-jitsu program now. We offer 3 classes.
Are they belted within your system, or they have to be going to a school? They can be belted through the police department now.
Yep.
That's the first time. I think that's
How
the first time
intimidating
I've
is
asked that question, only because it sounded like it was going that route.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't know that we've interviewed anybody that's actually belting within
When we
their
first
system.
started,
They're coming in for training, but they're not coming in and getting belted or promoted.
when we first started, the idea, we didn't think that was going to be the way we were going to go.
Yeah.
When I pitched it to him and everything was going forward, it was more just, hey, it's all going to be no gi, because it's made more sense kind of thing for the officers to do that. And, but then as things started, it was like, hey, let's put a belt program in here and let the guys do some gi training on top of regular no gi.
Well, okay. So this whole we've talked about this a few times.
Yeah.
So this whole let's do no gi for the street.
Yeah.
But you're wearing a jacket.
Absolutely.
You're wearing
Okay, as real as you
suit,
get,
you
right?
know?
Absolutely.
Is
Like-
the real is the gi?
The
Is the
street-
pants, somebody in
Right.
pants with
Agreed.
a jacket on or a shirt.
I don't know about you guys, but as a bouncer or as a guy working concerts, I've strangled multiple people with a thumb in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Multiple people.
Absolutely.
If
you
you
know,
grab enough shirt,
Not even. These are so not
yeah.
to rip easily.
Yeah.
You get a good thumb hook. No one's peeling that off you.
yeah.
And if it tears out here. And you can do
I
worse.
the whole there was this argument for the longest time of gi is not put on your no gi and let's do like if it was in the street and you can't grab my no wait a minute I can grab your stuff I can grab anything I want so
if it's in the street.
yeah,
and I
I
think-
believe that the gi jiu-jitsu is the more relevant of the
I would agree.
jiu-jitsus.
Especially if you live outside of South Florida.
Yeah.
A place where you will wear a hoodie 4 months a year.
Yeah.
Way more.
Jacket, a suit,
Definitely
a
Georgia.
suit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Half the year you're wearing, where you're wearing long clothes. Yeah. And, it's, I think I always look at it too, is even if you talk about the things you can't grab and stuff, you also got friction to think about too, right? You're wearing pants, jeans, a lot more friction like a gi does inside the rolls versus.
Hey, you're under arrest. Let me put my shorts on.
Exactly,
Let me get these
right?
pants off,
Pull my spats out and jump in.
I mean, some people might prefer this type of
But
You might have less paperwork in it.
and I think the no-gi thing though is more just selling it to the guys in the department that don't know anything about jiu-jitsu.
It
Right?
looks
For
cool.
us talking about it, I agree with you. 100% a gi it's the best.
Do you guys have like a kit, like a PD rash guard short set?
We don't, man. We need to really get one. I know.
Flow and roll.
Flow and roll, baby. Let's
my
go.
boy. We'll hook you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? Back the blue?
We do have some stuff though that you got from some other people.
Do your guys go
that's-
to tournaments or like fight to wins? Think about this. Coming to the Met. Representing your local police department. If you win, you will get a ticket. That's it.
Yeah.
They tap the guy fast. He's like,
I know from experience from my father. I have a lot of friends that are cops, but from my dad living with a cop my whole my first 25 years of my life. A cop doesn't want anybody to know that they're a cop, right? Usually, you're not advertising it. You don't want anybody in now. Am I wrong? Like,
No, you're right.
You kind of
all
want to
my
keep it
cop
quiet.
students are officer. The whole room calls him officer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's different. It's in a kind of a closed environment.
I take it back. We got one guy who does like.
My dad, I remember as a kid, because I was so proud that my dad was a cop, that I couldn't tell enough people that my dad was a cop, and he used to be like, you don't have to tell anybody,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you lose the element of surprise, or people want to automatically think that you're going to be able to help. He's like, I'm a city cop. We're on Long Island. I don't have jurisdiction. Yeah. It's just like, so I know that most cops don't want anybody to know. As a retired cop, he's got his badge from being a sarge. He could give one to everybody in the family has a badge that they could wear.
Yeah.
So now it's a little different, but but back then it was. So I had this question in my mind since Ben asked something before, and this is in no way shitting on any police department, although there are bad apples in every bunch, right? How much of this change in the law enforcement community with bringing in jiu-jitsu is because of social media, and is because of what we see, good, bad, a cop getting beat up, or, a cop taking somebody down and, they're punching somebody on the ground. How much do you think that played into what feels like things are moving a lot more quickly than they were before, right? They were moving at a snail's pace, but with social media and Instagram and, whatever other movements and things that have happened, how much do you think that played into it being number one, faster to get jiu-jitsu into police department, into the academy, and something like he said with Jacksonville, where they're requiring blue belts. I didn't know that they're requiring blue belts. How much do you think that social media has played into that? Either one of you?
I think it's huge. I think it's very huge. I mean, the optics of jiu-jitsu, we know is great, right? It looks a whole lot better if something was to go down on here, and double leg, sweep to the ground, Kimura, put you in handcuffs, looks a whole lot better than taking out your baton or something, right? Yeah. So the optics are there, and I think that's what you've seen from social media and whatnot, right? It's seen some of the bad stuff.
Go on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so I think like you see all these instances where officers are just failing when it comes to defensive tactics, right? They're useless of force, and they're just going down. And I think saying, hey, I have an answer for that is a good thing, right? And that sells it too. So you're 100% correct. Yeah. I think social media has been huge.
There's a video. I believe it was Brazil. Do you remember the guy had a machete and the cop is coming at him and he like hits it on the ground to kind of like, come on. And then he goes like that. Yeah, he goes like that and he gets the cop. Yeah, judo throws him. That's the one video that stands out in my mind as like, that's the one that I would show people of all, and cuffing and everything. Yeah. That's the one that I would show people. I'm like, look at this situation, and no one got hurt.
There's one from Thailand where there's a dude in a bank and he's doing the same thing. Yeah. And like a guy kind of catty corners, like talking to him, and this guy sprints, jumps, and straight up Hurricanrana's the guy, like a pro wrestler, legs around the head, dumps him, and everyone tackles him as he's dismounting. And this is way before AI.
Yeah.
But that's it. Those are the only two.
I know there are plenty more. Yeah, but
absolutely.
when I do think about like judo and jiu-jitsu videos that moved things forward, it's something like that. Like, and the guy was like, the cop was jacked. I remember the video.
That helps.
But I just it feels like it's moving more quickly, and I feel again, you guys know, what is the conversation like inside of the department now? Is it are you having to get everything approved? Like, hey, no, like in New York, right? They ban certain like knee on bellies and you can't be on their back. I believe those are still regulations that are in place, which are absolutely ridiculous. Because if I want to hold somebody down, like, a knee on belly is perfect, or, mount, sitting on their back to cuff them. Are you hitting any walls like that, or is,
No. I think what helped us was post. So the state of Georgia has a program to where you get certified as a BJJ officer.
Okay.
Right. Once you've got
a BJJ officer.
Yes. It's like you hit 100 hours of training.
Okay.
And you get a certification.
That's awesome.
Through the state of Georgia. And they laid out a curriculum, right?
Okay.
For the whole state to go by, basics that they should be taught or been exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, all these positions are in there: knee on belly, mount, side control. So they have to be shown that by post. So
okay. Can you choke somebody out? Can you rear naked choke somebody?
So our department has a restriction on that policy, on that with a policy, and there's reasons why for back in the days and stuff like that. Not particularly from our department, obviously, but from in general. And so no, but we can in a life or death kind of situation, right? We could. So if it led to that, if it was they're reaching for your weapon or something during an altercation, you could.
Could you have him in the position but not choke them out versus? Yeah, I had to.
Absolutely.
Completely choke him out till he passed out. He was not going to comply.
I would say once you're putting on, a rear naked choke or something, once you lock it in, that would be kind of to that point. But before that, just using it as a holder, a position like that, absolutely right. If you had a good seatbelt around someone and then you'd switch and you just hold in the arm, but you're not truly choking, I think we could justify that. No problem. Yeah.
So when you're teaching, right, are there certain aspects of jiu-jitsu that might not be as commonly highlighted in sport or recreational jiu-jitsu that you guys really, really focus on? Like, I'm obsessed with shin pinning, using my shins to pin limbs, ankles, wrists. I would be like, I would think that's rude. You don't do that to people you like. Right? But I would think in like an LEO application, if we need to isolate hands, like I now have a third appendage to do all this. So
he's big on shin pins and rods.
Love shin pins.
Wow.
Yeah, love shin.
They're the best.
Absolutely.
I've never wrist locked people until like 3 months ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm just going to shin pin."
If I go to side control,
everybody.
I teach anybody that I teach any type of passing. You usually teach passing; they're just doing the passing. Say no, finish, and then pin the arm.
You have to. It's
and
good.
then so I can now go and do it again, but go all the way through to the the pinning of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not do that while you have the opportunity?
So the reason I ask is because I would think something like a shin pin is such a benign and minute aspect of anything that we're actually doing. Like, did you develop specific drilling where we can just rep out like the use of shin pins applications from different positions and angles, kind of like it's cyclical, like the infinity, so it kind of flows through. You know how we go from Keisagatami, side control, north south, ready mount, side, so you can kind of flow through. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes, like I call it like a closed-ended loop, right? To where if I start at A, I go to B. If I fail, I'm at C, D. But worst case scenario, I am back at A. I'm never in a worse position than when I started or attempted something. So yes, we build up. I have several, I guess, concepts or systems we use like that. One thing we found to be beneficial for our officers is doing like live scenarios. We do a lot of, most of the class is regular jiu-jitsu, right? Because you're not going to have a lot of
Are you saying you're an ecological training facility?
No, that's not what I heard.
No, not at all.
Thank you.
I didn't hear that. Don't fall into that trap.
No, but I like to try to troubleshoot things before they happen, right? So, and like I said, we do mostly regular jiu-jitsu just like at a regular gym, because if you're every day, it's like this is law enforcement specific. And officers after a while is like, this is kind of boring. Exactly, right? They want it to
Can I
be a
bear and
reprieve.
bull this?
Yeah, right?
So
And that's one thing I do teach every once in a while, right? Show them bear and bull. Show them
just
something
for fun.
fun, right? Have fun with
Definitely.
we had an officer on, Shane from Tempana. He talked about they bring in, like, if there's a use of force incident, and they've got camera footage, body cam footage, they'll bring that officer in and then like train with them on that situation, what you could have done better. Is anything happening like that? Like, not just, hey, we're training you for what could possibly happen, but after something happens, well, we need to work on that. do you have anything in place where you work as a group, or bring in that officer and say, hey, we need to go over this so that if this happens again, this is what you should have done?
So we do
Is anything like
somewhat,
that
so our jiu-jitsu program is voluntary, right? So we're not making enforce it. Now we do
How
actually.
many of your 750 officers do you know participate?
So on an average month, that's on average.
749 is the answer.
No, not even close.
That's where
I
we're
wish.
at.
That's our goal.
Teaching.
Yeah.
But right now we're averaging around 75 in a month. It'll come
That's
in
not
at least
bad.
one time,
Yeah.
around the 10%
Well,
mark.
you got to
Yeah.
figure so many of these people are, either not on the street, so
That's
it's
right.
not of utmost importance to them, or they're working in areas where.
And or they
do
train
things.
outside of.
We do. We have
they,
some. Yeah.
they train on their own.
Yeah.
Does that hurt your feelings?
Maybe
'Cause it
other
would hurt
disciplines.
mine.
Hey,
Well-
I'm happy if they're training.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Nothing
and
against
potentially
the
other
good.
disciplines, right? I mean, they could be training
That's right.
something other than
That's right.
jiu-jitsu, and maybe they think their karate kicks are,
No, Sambo.
gonna
Way better
Yeah,
than jiu-jitsu.
yeah. So
Yeah, we
so-
definitely
so-
do. I mean, I train outside, obviously, at a different gym too, but then also I train at work as well.
So you will bring people in though.
Yeah.
You will work with them.
Yeah, so like,
on things.
so I'm a precinct commander, right? So when I have to watch all my use of forces that pop into my precinct, right? The guys that do those use of force, and when I see one that's like, oh my gosh, what are we doing here? What this is not good. I say, hey guy, we got a program for this. You know what I mean?
Can,
And
can
so,
you like write them a prescription of like, hey, for the next 6 months, twice a week, you will be here.
so I try not to make it mandatory. I try more to just say, hey, this is something that's going to help you. This is going to be good for you. And I put him in the right place, put him in his hands, and say, hey, Wade, show him some good things, and
is
get out
there
there
a
and make it
certain-
more fun for him. You know
Is
what I
there
mean?
a certain point where you're going, you're either a danger to yourself, you're a danger to the community, you're a danger to the reputation of the department because you are untrained. And as a major,
Yeah.
this is what you'll be doing.
That's right. Yes, it could definitely come to that. I haven't had to do that quite yet, but yes, 100%. There would be a point to where we say we have a program that was created to help these shortfalls. Why are we not putting you in that and making you do that? So yeah, we do. We have that kind of in place, but again, we try to make it that they want to come out and stay doing it and that kind of thing. So, that's,
so post academy, there's still no requirement,
so
but
what,
you can invite them.
that's
Invite
right.
them
Well,
back.
so what we did, because again, we had a large department. We were thinking, how do we make this so everybody wanted to do it and these kind of things. So what we did is, since we have our own police academy, during the academy, you actually go through a certain number of hours of training in just jiu-jitsu, right? As you're training. Then you train every week. Past that point in the academy, you're training jiu-jitsu at least once a week in the academy.
Okay.
On top of all the other things that we do in the academy.
Did you do a
right?
startup course or did you just give them that once
Yes,
a week?
that's what I'm saying. That week in there is like kind of like the startup course, and then we do the once a week. So we do like a 40 hours of a basic with the recruits. Then we do week.
Dream job, dude.
That's
Dream
right.
job.
Yeah, he's got it, man.
I'm
He's-
blessed.
He
I'm
is
blessed.
He is blessed. And then after the academy, we require the recruits while they're on field training. They have to come back once a week. Requirement. They have to come back at least once a week and train jiu-jitsu the whole time they're on field training.
Okay.
Then once they get done, the idea was, again, we wanted to make it so they wanted to come. So we gave them incentives for the department. Like, so you come, you get paid for the first 3 months you do it. We're going to pay you an overtime kind of thing to be there. Once you complete that time, every time if you get your BJJ certification, your 100 hours, we give you 2 days off for doing that. Then every year, if you train so much during the year, we give you more time off and stuff like that. So we made it incentives is what I'm trying to get at is like,
Wait, they get more paid time off or more time, like from work?
yeah,
Bruh,
exactly.
I'd work 3 days
So
a year.
that's what,
Days off and snacks are the way that you get people into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Be serving snacks after training.
So I mean, you really can't. I looked at the reason for years I never trained was there wasn't a gym super close to me, and time for my family, but then money. Man, it was always expensive too to get into a gym, and man, we've taken a lot of that away. Right? It's free. You get it from the department. You're getting it from a reputable black belt. Right? It's not like we just brought in some random, like I said, a defensive tactics instructor. Hey, now we're going to teach this. Actually, we have a black belt teaching that can belt people and do the whole 9 yards.
I would
And
say the best part is that with the influence of 10th Planet, now cops can smoke pot if they do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, probably pretty frowned upon at the department.
Are you?
Yeah.
As an academy owner, you work hard to build trust with your students, their parents, and your community. But trust isn't something you claim, it's something you prove and earn. That's where Academy Safe comes in. We help academies like yours stand out with verified safety standards. Background checks for all staff, U.S. Center for Safe Sport certification, concussion training, defibrillators on site, CPR, first aid and AED certification, security cameras, rank and lineage checks, and verification of business insurance. Join the trusted martial arts registry that's redefining safety throughout North America. Lead by example. Show parents you're accredited with Academy Safe.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Is your business getting lost online? Black Belt Digital Marketing is a full-service digital marketing agency that helps you get found, get leads, and grow. We specialize in local and website SEO, so your business stands out when customers search. Our website SEO makes sure your site loads fast, ranks high, and stays ahead of AI-driven search, so customers find you first. More visibility, more clicks. More customers right when they're ready to buy. Grow your business online with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com or call 9542-204932 today.
Yeah, I don't know that we would do that.
Are you guys tracking use of force cases post like bringing jiu-jitsu? You know, are you tracking like before jiu-jitsu use of force?
Oh, yeah, bureaucracy.
Yeah,
Right.
we dropped. And we dropped significantly in certain areas for officers. Injuries has been one that I saw.
And we're saying, when we say use of force, we're saying use of force cases, we're saying public complaints, right? I got arrested, he broke my arm, right? I mean, use of force
Yeah,
complaint
well, actually,
would
well,
come
they
from
actually
the public,
physically
right?
use the force.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
from
yeah.
the like anytime. So our department,
So
anytime,
use of force, but I'm also like use of force, like lawsuits. Or
that would be involved.
Yeah,
Sure.
right, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And lawsuits haven't been that big of a deal for us anyway.
So an officer coming in and saying the use of like when they come in after, they have to tell you like, hey, I used force, I had to hit
That's
him.
correct.
Okay,
That's right.
they're reporting that.
That's
right?
correct.
So there's that use of force, and then there's a use of force. Somebody says, yeah, they broke my leg when they right.
To-
I'm
yeah.
suing.
Exactly. Yeah.
How many
I would
times-
expect that both of those things have declined.
They have declined.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I said, the biggest one that I saw that decline was officer injury.
Okay.
You know, it's officers learning how to do stuff, right?
You know how to fall.
Exactly. You learn
know
how
how
to
to take
fall.
someone
You
down.
learn how to, you're not just taking someone and trying to grab them and take them down. You're actually, I know a way to get them down to the ground, right?
Yeah.
Versus that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's been a big
How
decrease.
much does it piss you off when you see that fat cop with the belly over the belt and the thing, and he's getting a donut,
Dude,
like really that guy, and
I
he's
could
on the
have been a
beat.
cop. Look at
I know. I mean that. I guess that guy. We just know that guy's not running down the street after anybody. But how much does that annoy you? And what do you do with a guy like that? What can you do with a guy like that that's just out of shape?
So-
male or male or
I had
female?
a similar question in that, like, we're starting to get more physical fitness, preparation, at like more legitimate defensive tactics. At what point do we get fitness requirements back? I remember it was a thing when I was younger. I don't know about the town or city.
Again, NYPD and the Transit Police Department when my dad was
So
on
maybe
the
I'm
job,
thinking military.
There was no
right? They
annual.
have to maintain. You have to be able to
that
run this,
department.
lift this, pull this, push this.
No, once you got through the academy, that's it.
You're done.
Get
Okay,
your
so that
donut.
was
Pick
just
up your
military.
donut here.
Yeah, it's to get hired. We have stuff like that you have to do.
But once you're on,
you get
you're
hired,
on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that something that I guess guys like you are fighting for? Because I mean, if you're going to interact in a possibly violent scenario, you've got to be fit enough for the violent scenario.
That's right.
And though most fights and skirmishes are 45 seconds to a minute, when you're going all out, even as a guy who trains, if I'm not
different.
warmed up
Yeah.
and like stretched out, like it still hits you really hard. So if you're unfit, you're going to get like 30, 40 seconds at absolute maximum.
I guess. How do you deal with those unfit people? Are they just not out on the road?
No, they're definitely on the road, and that's a hard one, right? Because at the end of the day, we have to have police officers out there.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you only get what applies to the department, right? I mean, we have a really good application process, and we vet them very well, and we do the best we can. But you have to have the streets filled. There's calls that are going to come in no matter what, right? So even if you say, well, I'm only going to hire the most fit, physical dominance kind of guy, you're not going to have enough police
Why
officers
not
to do the
take
job.
a page out of New York and send, social workers and psychiatrists?
Yeah, that would work well.
It would make sense, though, for your requirements to get into the academy to be the continuing ed requirements.
It would.
For any department.
My wife has to do continuing ed for real estate every year.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's definitely something that was it's not a bad thing, obviously, to do. But again, I guess the hard part is that every call you go to is not that kind of call. So when you say that, like, I agree with you. We can sit there and say, I've stayed fit my whole life because I knew what the job could call me to do. But the reality is that you're not chasing someone every single call. You're not fighting with someone.
How often are you chasing? Like once a week, once a day?
It depends on the area in which we work. Gwinnett County, where we at, is a very diverse county and very large geographically. So certain areas are, not so much. You go to our West Precinct, yeah, man, you're gonna get something.
So
weekly, daily.
I'm not super familiar with the geography of Georgia. Yep. Gwinnett County, is there like a major metropolitan in there?
Yeah, we're metropolitan of Atlanta. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like right outside the major
We're right
city?
outside of Atlanta.
Okay, gotcha.
Atlanta falls within.
Yeah, so if you kind of look at it this way, a lot of people, they work and stuff inside of Atlanta. They live outside in some of the Cobb County, Gwinnett County, DeKalb County. So we sit in that area. That's where most people live in the areas.
So talk to me about the UFC stuff, the pictures that you sent. UFC, you're in the corner. Mike Brown. Give me how are you involved in cornering UFC fighters? Where did that come all about?
So I had one of my fighters that I was working with up here. He was living in Gwinnett County at the time, Christian Turner. He's only 23 now, right? Kid's a phenom. But I was working with him. He ended up going down to ATT, Coconut Creek. Got an invite to go down there and train for a couple of weeks. While he was there, they offered him, hey, this kid's talented. Come on in. Do you want to stay here full-time and train? We talked about it, and I was like, hey, kid, this is one of those golden opportunities. You better seize it.
Lifetime, yeah.
And through that, and then I had another one I work with that still lives in Gwinnett, Cody Durden. He still fights in the UFC, but he does his training camps down at ATT Coconut Creek.
He's with the Lima brothers primarily up north, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's where he trains at when he's in town, and, we work together. So then when Christian started fighting down at ATT, I still went to corner him, would do film breakdown for him for fights coming up. And that's where I first cornered with Mike Brown.
Mike's the best. If you've never met Mike Brown, he's the best.
Yeah. And anywho, me and Mike kind of hit it off, right? We're cornering Christian together and then stay on the phone talking. He's keeping me updated, just shooting the breeze, right? Well, we had this program going and we wanted to go over some more wall pin stuff. Is becoming kind of a big thing in law enforcement, right? Mm-hmm. Like whether it be pinning somebody against a wall inside of a house or against a car. And we wanted to start developing a curriculum for that. And I was like, well, being on the MMA side, I'm very familiar with wall pins. I was like, but our department kind of prides itself on being like, hey, we want to be the best that we can be at everything, right? Bring in best resources. And I was like,
I know a guy named Mike Brown.
I know a guy, right? That's right. He's got some experience with this.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, I called him up and I was like, hey, Mike, would you come up and do a 8-hour block for us just on wall pins, right? And control dynamics. So he came in and taught a whole day for us there at the academy. We picked up a lot from that. And then cornering, of course, with Cody, traveling with him, was just out a few weeks ago in Vegas. And his first fight, I was with him at the UFC, I guess, a couple of years ago. And I met Steve Bruno, another ATT coach over there, one of the striking coaches. And then through that and going with Christian and them, you just kind of meet everybody, the whole team, and all kind of fell in with them. And rest is history.
Yeah. So you'll those two are the guys that you'll corner if they're fighting. They bring you in every time.
Yes, yeah. I have a couple more.
You have more now?
Yeah, I have Dylan Salvador. When he made the switch to MMA, he was already a 2-time Muay Thai world champion, won the Glory tournament, and also I kind of helped him with the grappling. Obviously, that was the part that everybody's going to try to exploit him in, right? Yeah. So worked with him in that, and he's fighting pro now, of course. And
do you come down and spend any time down here in Coconut Creek? Do you come down and during the training and hang out for a little bit and train there?
Yeah, I've been down a couple times. Yeah, I'll come down and see Christian. You ever
roll
down
with the
for
crew?
a weekend. Do what?
Do you ever do like Pahumpa's class on Fridays and roll with the guys?
No, I've only went in with Mike.
Oh, okay.
If I come down, I call Mike and go over there with him. And set it on training with him, pick
That's
his
cool.
brain.
Yeah. It's like every jiu-jitsu's got a dream. My ex-wife used to ask me, like, when we would talk about the UFC, I'd say, like, one day, just once, I want to be in a corner, like front row seat, or corner somebody in jiu-jitsu one day,
Quartering's, I really enjoy it. I do it a lot.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. And at like the big scale, like I haven't been on like the pay-per-views yet. I've been to the Contender and stuff. It's a very different feel.
Yeah.
But it always feels awesome, but it's way heavier because you're like, yo, this is the place.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, there's a camera. And, like Dana White sitting right there. You're like, first time in.
That's awesome.
But as soon as the fight starts, and I mean, maybe different for you, but as soon as the fight starts, it's like everything else fades out, right? All you can focus on is that right in front of you.
Have you had anybody else come up besides Mike Brown to help you guys at the?
Oh gosh, yeah. Cody Durden, he comes in all the time, just swings by and come by, talk to the guys, which is cool for them, to have that interaction.
Do you guys do press spots when you bring these guys up?
So we might pop them on our social media page or something like that. We've done that a couple
call
times.
The local news. In my opinion, and I think in most, this is something that I would want to see. Oh, my local department is going so far as to bring in specialists at this minor thing that we need to do to train.
Well, how minor does how is this being received by the public in your area? Are they, because again, like
the criminals,
you hear jiu-jitsu, people think, the person that doesn't really know anything about martial arts immediately goes UFC, fighting, jiu-jitsu is like a verb that's like, well, give me that verbal jiu-jitsu, right? Like we all know those things. So I think the average person thinks of jiu-jitsu and they're thinking of, okay, this is some type of fighting art. Oh, great. You're going to teach our cops how to beat the shit out of us. How is that being received in, the public at large?
So I would say we've actually had a lot of support. I've had a couple of our local businesses, Barber Orthopedics, which Dr. Barber, he's got a big practice. I mean, you'll see him on a lot of the fighter-sponsored Barber Orthopedics, but he trains.
Yeah.
So Barber Orthopedics, Triad Mechanical, Ageless Physique, they all went in and got us donated just to get rash guards made to give to the officers, right? And then we've had, like I said, people come in. I've had Al Bosglick, who he fought in the UFC, flew out from California on his own. Just, hey, man, I'll come in and help you guys with the class. And, of course, Dylan,
that's great.
Cody, and Christian.
Any pushback from the community, though? No.
Pushback, I would say no, but you read the social media posts and always going to be that guy on there that says something or whatever. But that's fine.
Look at them
Guess
choking.
who's getting watched now?
Exactly. But you look down, I scroll through them just to see, but there's more positive than negative for sure.
I would think. And a lot of it pulls out to how you explain it.
Absolutely.
Like people think UFC, they think punching and kicking, but then you're like, we've actually eliminated the striking.
That's right.
And you got
it needs to be explained.
You have to remind people more than you have to teach them.
Well, that's why I say, when you're talking about press, that's the perfect opportunity in mass to get on television, which is going to wind up on, the internet and wind up in clips to really explain it, because I think the layperson, again, doesn't. They're like, look at these guys, they're getting trained up like the military, and they're, right? I mean, that's, there's always, there are those guys, but, again, if you don't know, and that's who you want to educate the people that
we had a post, and it was we'd take some guys down to a local tournament, and one of the posts was like, oh, this is what they're doing with our tax dollars, and I'm over here like, no, these guys are off duty, they're doing this on their own because they want to get back, you know what I mean? But people don't know, but that's what they stuff like that.
There's 100 cops at each one of these tournaments. They're just wearing a different.
That's exactly right. 100% right. Agreed. It's
got to be kind of cool looking across and you see the TV and it's like John Smith, Police Department.
Yeah, right.
You're like, wait, what?
Was it hard to get kind of the higher ups in the department to kind of buy in on any of this? I think it's kind of like, it's usually the old timers, again, people that don't necessarily know, that have never done martial arts, that don't understand what you're trying to do. Was there any pushback from?
So it definitely was in the past. I think was probably the best thing. Man, the chief that we have right now is phenomenal, and he is totally progressive about that kind of stuff. Like, hey, we need to get the best training, best things. He's made changes to the department that were for the good that maybe he didn't even really want. Like a beard policy, right? Allowing officers to wear beards. He wasn't really big on it himself, right? He's an old Marine guy, just didn't want that per se. But he's like, hey, if it builds morale in the department, we got to do it, right? So that's been kind of the change in the department that's really been great.
Is he an older chief or a younger chief?
He's younger. He's younger for a chief for sure. I would say.
50s?
Yeah, he is early 50s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's our
Late 40s, early 50s. I don't want to say that and him come to me. I think
He's 33.
He's
and he looks
31
great.
years old.
It's like sometimes you have to get the old guard out to to implement changes.
I worked in some military towns teaching, and in one of them, they actually got rid of their special forces hand to hand because, at least militarily, whatever the I guess in this case the officers or the soldiers are required to do, their officers are required to do, and the officers were like 60, and they can't do hand to hand combat, so they just got rid of it, which is insane.
Yeah,
It's great.
But with younger officers, like they're way more connected to the age group of the people on the force, on the team. Or
he's definitely connected with the guys. I mean, he's just, like I said, he's going to do the best thing for the department regardless. That's the kind of attitude he always has. So that helped out. But again, it wasn't a lot of pushback. It was more like, hey, we'll implement this, but let's understand what you're asking for. So I made a proposal for him, laid it all out, compared some other departments, compared some other things. This is what it would look like for us, that kind of thing. And he was like, yeah, that sounds great.
What departments out there do you feel like you want to emulate? Who's doing it right? Other than you guys.
Yeah. So when I was
doing it right and like, we want to be like,
man,
that.
I looked and looked and looked, right? For someone, because there's a lot of departments are doing it right in the smaller departments. I think that because it's easier, like I said, you could just go to your gym, a local gym, and say, "Hey, man, we want to pay. Everybody goes here, and we'll pay so much amount of money, right?" So
Jupiter PD has a deal with a gym in my area. Yeah. I'm 2 miles from Palm Beach Gardens PD.
That's fantastic,
and I'm trying to
get them
the
in.
Same kind of thing,
get them in. And that's fantastic for the smaller department. It just wouldn't work for us per se. So I looked and looked, and we found a department, Mesa, Arizona. Is actually one that I talked to right now. They're same size as us, roughly, in men in the department. And man, they have a full-time jiu-jitsu program. They call it BJJ Police Jiu-Jitsu, and they got patches. They got BJJ. It was awesome. Somebody you probably need to talk to, man. Those guys were great. And they were very open with me and said, hey, this is what we do. This is how we get it. They actually allow
what are they doing different?
The one thing they're doing different, their schedules are different than ours. So they work like a 10-hour shift at the time. I don't know if they still are, but this is what he said. They do an overlapping hour. They call it the power hour. And so officers get to train on duty that hour. So they overlap so many shifts. So they get to do either go do physical fitness or they can go do jiu-jitsu during that hour, right? And so it's not a requirement for them, but because they get to do it on duty, if you will, in that space, they're getting paid right on the clock every day. So they have a lot of guys buying in. Our schedule's a little different. We do 12-hour shifts. We don't overlap per se. So it'll be a lot harder for us to do it in that way. So those are things they're doing right. And I think, honestly, biggest thing with them that they're doing right, they've been doing it longer.
Okay.
We're just getting kicked off, right? We've been in a year and a half or so, is right? Going on
a little bit more.
A little more, coming up on 2 years, I guess, that we've had it. And, we're going to keep growing. I think that's the biggest thing. But, yeah.
Anyone else out there that you can think of that's maybe made some inroads, getting things done more quickly, getting things approved?
No, not that I know of. I mean, I'm sure there are, right? I just couldn't find it, especially for the size that we had, right? I found a lot of departments, local departments were doing. Forsyth County near us, they were doing a jiu-jitsu program. I actually went and trained with those guys up at a gym. They go to a gym, same thing we were talking about, right? And they're doing things great. I mean, and they're requiring their officers to come train all the time, which is good.
What do you think about that requirement, like you said about Jacksonville, that like you have to have a blue belt? What do you?
Man,
that's
crazy.
That's pretty far. That's a big leap.
If every officer in our department were a blue belt, man, you feel like you would take over the world, right? I mean, it's just really. I mean, it's
savages.
It would be great. So I would love that. I don't know. I mean, you know how it is in any place. There, jiu-jitsu is not for everybody. Like, as much we say that jiu-jitsu can be for everybody, right? We believe that.
Not is.
That doesn't mean they want to do it, right? And so that's where it gets tough when you make it a requirement. So.
Do you think that happened? Let's take out the requirement, the belt requirement.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's going to be a requirement that every officer is?
I think there needs to be a requirement of at least, especially in the future, like going forward, it be a requirement of you have to do some training. Like for us, I think a good requirement would be get every officer at least that post-certified, that 100 hours in training, right? And that's not too big of an ask, right? It's not saying blue belt or next level belt, but 100 hours, you come in and you do your training and at least gets that. Like that's a lot.
100 hours a year? Or 100 hours
so to get the certification, it's 100 hours in BJJ specific.
Oh, okay.
Like in training.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then you get like a little certification.
Now, have you guys ever run into like Jason Wadsworth or the EFC guys?
Oh, Effective Fitness
we
Combatants.
hosted them.
We hosted them at our department.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
What do you think about that certification program? Does anybody in your department have that? Like,
Yeah, we do.
Level
And, like-
1, level 2, level 3.
Yeah, and see, like for me, I did the GST. That was before. That was the earlier ones. Was the GST, and I did that, and that's great. And the thing about it is, if that's all we're doing, that's it's a couple weeks, and you get a class, you get a certification. But if you're constantly training and then take that class, I think that's the more.
That's what I was saying. Like,
absolutely.
Like in terms of requirements, you have your 100 hours to get the BJJ certification. Then it's like, hey, once every other year we hit an EFC or a whatever. There's 100 different ones, but
yes. And I think that now that, of course, we got an in-house program, I would like to see that. Yeah, get the 100 hours, and then, all right, you got to come at least see us in the BJJ room at least so many hours a year or something like that, just to make it, to get your training.
You got to stay fresh.
Exactly. That would be great. That's where we'd like to head for sure. Yeah.
So give me the pitch. Like, you've got an officer that's been on the job for a couple of years. They're not coming to train. What are you telling them? Are you like actively trying to recruit those guys? Are you in their ear? What's the pitch?
We just try to put out the benefits of it to them, right? Make sure, because, and that's been a big thing, even with us being around for almost 2 years, is we recently had one of our officers go to roll call and explain like all the benefits of it. A lot of the officers didn't even know, like, wait, I get time off for this, right? Like, I'm like, you guys not read? Nobody read the email? Like,
you have to incentivize,
right? Or like,
have you guys looked into, I guess, morale rates, camaraderie, how how that group of 70 might be a unit versus because the camaraderie aspects, like really,
I
as
already
a gym
know
owner,
from being in going to a regular gym.
There's
it's just like,
so
those
many
are my
things.
people.
Well, no, there's just so many things. Like, think about it. Oxytocin, right? You are an adult. If you're a single man, which I'm assuming a lot of the 20-somethings are, they don't get hugs. They don't have contact. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu comes in, and although it's not the intention, you are still in contact with people. And that affects your hormones, your body, your balance, your brain, right? It leads to a much more positive,
for some people, jiu-jitsu is the only contact that they might have that day.
You know, so in that aspect, and something like law enforcement, where you're dealing with gruesome shit, you know, I was set to go into an LEO. I have a criminal justice degree. That was my path before I started fighting. And then luckily I'm really good at this. So I went that way. But I'm doing ride-alongs, and the guy said, oh, yeah, man, I picked up a baby's head off the road from a car accident this morning. And 3 hours later, I got lunch with my kid, and 3 hours after that, I had a lady hang herself. Yeah. And then after that, there was a child abducted. And I was like, that's dark, you know? So to be able to be a member of such like it's inevitably tight-knit because of the proximity you are to one another, the connection you have to one another physically. You are physically in contact. And that it's an ingrown support system. You know, and as a guy in the lead of a gym at this point, like, I have a room of guys who shouldn't be buddies. You own a business. You're just out of high school. You sell pot. You're a cop. And they don't, they're just, you know, they're in there.
Yeah.
But they're all
would not be friends otherwise.
Supportive. Yeah. Like, as my guys are in 18, 19, 20, they're getting hired by the guy who owns a nursery or the guy with a roofing company. They already know the character of this individual, and they're connected to them in a way where it's just already built in. Absolutely. Like, I'm assuming that's how do you present that, like, presumably to a dude? Come on, bro, get some hugs in, buddy.
Yeah. That's probably, I think they want to hear about the days off.
No, but it's good. Right. And I think, I don't know, I lost my train of thought on that, but
I went on for a while. I apologize.
But it is good. I mean, and we have guys though that come into groups. They'll bring, so we have like our DUI task force when we first kicked it off, right? DUI guys, man, they're out there finding those DUIs every night. Well, a lot of people want to get scuffles from that. So they all came in, they were all, as a group, they were coming in and training together. You know, we have a CRT, our central CRT, man, they're in there all the time as a group training.
So
all
you got
the time.
like your night
cliques,
group,
right? Your night group. They come in, they train, then they go into work, right? And they do that as a group and talk about being camaraderie and stuff like that. That's awesome. Because you know, like, you know, you pick at each other. I submitted you today, right? Or whatever. You suck. Let's go hit the street, right? Or whatever. And I think it's huge.
So it's like almost their club within a gym. Right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
And you know, you talk about
think about that.
You talk about it like you know, like in my personal gym that I train a lot too. You're right. Everybody is total different walks of life, completely different walks of life. But somehow, with jiu-jitsu, you're best friends, and you truly care for that people, right?
Everyone at this table knows you can go anywhere in the world. Tell somebody you do jiu-jitsu, and what are they going to say? Hey, we're training. We got up in Mass tomorrow. Like, come on down. It's
absolutely.
It is I mean, I was never in the military, so I mean, it's a different type of brotherhood. But I also see like that subset of like soldier, like Marines.
Yeah.
There's one of the owners of my gym is a former Marine, so like they're just always making in fun of each other.
That's
and,
right.
You know, I know the crayon joke. I always throw out the crayon joke.
That's it.
The Marines like to eat crayons, right? But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like there's that subset within the gym, and yeah, I mean, we would, you know, most of the people I would have never even met. Most of the people at my academy, if it wasn't.
Yeah. That's what kind of makes it a little different, of course, at the police academy though, or the police department, right? So it's guys that you are at least in the same exact walk of life. A lot of you, you know, because you're doing the same job, you know, in that regard.
Do you ever let like any of your like teammates, somebody that's not involved with the police, hey, can they come and train? Hey, like, why don't you come in tonight and help us out or train with us? So you know, people from your gym that are not on the force can come in and train a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
sign the waiver.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of coming in, we let them come in, check it out, and see, because it's good for guys that haven't been trained in a long time to come in. You know, you have a good solid purple belt, brown belt that comes in and really puts the work into them. You know what I mean? They need that, right? They need to have someone doing that. You know, so it's good. Yeah, we do that.
What kind of hours do you guys keep for training? Do you have like set, like we do a morning 9 to 10, and we do an evening 4 to 5 kind of thing?
Yeah,
man, this guy works his tail off. That's
so
what
are
it
you?
is.
Are you? This is what you do now. You're in the gym training all day.
I teach usually.
My wife
how long have you been on the job now?
Want me to get your job?
No, he has the best job.
How long have you been on the job now?
So 10 years with the department.
10 years.
And we're coming up on our second year. I think we'll be in April.
Yeah.
It'll be our second year with the program. And so I teach, 5 days a week. If you know.
But like how many sessions, like I'm assuming you have office hours, planning, I guess some level of grading, and then I'm assuming you're watching tape. Like, hey, we had a conflict or whatever.
Yes. He can tell you I stay pretty busy. So we'll have classes. I teach like Mondays because Mondays for whatever reason is always a slower day for us. I guess people coming back into the office, right? If it's our CID unit, they're looking over cases from the weekend, whatever reason, Monday's slow. So we do a 10 a.m. and then a 4:30 p.m. But then Tuesdays, a lot of times when the recruit classes are going, I have my one class I have to do with them. So I'll do a class for them at 6 a.m. Then I'll teach at 10 a.m., 4:30 p.m., 4 p.m., 5:30 p.m. class.
So you'll have some days you'll have like 4 or 5 sessions.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to throw this out there. Okay. Why are you doing anything at 6 a.m.? You have an office job.
Hey, it's so while the recruits are in the academy, they have so many classes they have to get to.
They are in the academy.
That's right.
Yes,
they need to be punished. You are a leader.
Listen,
of
if all I had to do, well, I mean, not to be dismissive of it at all. If I got to do jiu-jitsu all day, I would gladly wake up nice and early to do a 6 a.m.
One day, one day
if I didn't have to deal with client, then go deal with clients and all the BS. I would.
I'm sure there's a lot of BS. This is still paramilitary bureaucracy.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't dealt with much at all.
That's because no one knows what you know. You're the head of your thing.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. Like almost anything I've asked for, like, hey, I think this would help, and I think it's with our command staff. It's just, all right, tell us what you need, and we'll figure out how to make this happen. Right? Yeah. It's been, amazing. Like we started out, we had roll-out wrestling mats. Right when the program first started, and I was like, it'd be cool to have like nice Fuji mats in here. Of course, it's safer.
You have a dedicated room now?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
We have our own training space, yeah. And it was like, send it in. It's like, kind of walk me through the process. It's like, done.
How big is your training room?
Do you remember the dimensions on it?
I think the mat area was like 30 by 40.
Yeah, that's very respectable. That's like almost 1,500 square feet.
Yeah, we've got
it's
a big
respectable training area. That's awesome.
Oh, we've got a big training area.
Yeah.
I gotta believe that when we've been doing this 6 years. I've been probably talking about jiu-jitsu for law enforcement for during that entire time. I've got to believe, at least in the beginning, I know that a lot of times it was about money. Okay, when are they going to train? Do we pay them on the job? Do we pay them to train in their own facility? Like, go find a facility. What happens if somebody gets hurt during this training on the job? Or when they're in the gym now, we lose that officer. He's out, blows out a knee. I would guess that now, when looking back on that, just going to the use of force cases, the amount of times that the county gets sued is so one case pays a tenth of what you would pay out, you know, would cover the expenses for the year to keep you guys in everything that you need. So I know that was a barrier to entry in the beginning. It's just like, it's about the money. It's about the money. What if a cop gets hurt? Now we've got to replace that cop. What are we doing? Now people are getting overtime. And, you know, the snowball effect is just like, no, we don't want to do this. You want to train, go train on your own. That's great. Go get your own training. But it felt like that was the barrier to entry in the beginning. I would guess that now there's enough data to be like, wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
You were all wrong. No,
Absolutely.
we get sued less. Nobody's getting injured, or, you know, if the injuries aren't as bad. I mean, again, I haven't heard the stories. You guys would probably, you know, a cop didn't blow out his knee during training. He's not out forever. You know, he's not, you know, trying to go out on you know, whatever, 3/4, you know, and retire. I mean, that stuff is just not happening, right?
Correct. It's not. And that was the thing. It's just educating the command staff, which was awesome. They listened to it. We put it in there. Says, listen, it's not, it sounds like, okay, we're fighting, so we're going to get hurt all the time. No, that's not the case, right? There's actually very low numbers of true big injuries in jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, it happens, of course. We've been lucky that, you know, nothing so far, really bad stuff. And so that has really helped. Knock on wood, right?
Well, I just say that.
And I just
He said it out
totally
loud.
out loud. I did. But
I can say it, you can't say it.
I'm just saying that has really helped to, like you said, solidify. Yeah, what you said was true, right? You know, it helped us out because that was a concern at first. But honestly, I was surprised that wasn't a bigger concern.
Yeah.
It was like our department understood. Yeah, there'll be injuries, but that's a cost of doing business sometimes, right? We know that you got to get in there. Listen, we've had a recruit program, a police academy for many, many years, and we have injuries all the time in the police academy. It's going to happen, right? These guys are going hard. They're doing that job.
Usually the injury winds up happening when you're doing something so stupid,
Right.
or somebody else bumps into you, fall,
Yeah.
they hit your knee, they hit your foot, they
That's
fall
it.
on your ankle. Like, it's always
Exactly.
it's not the actual training. It's like this stupid thing that happened.
That's exactly right.
Literally, I've had guys like get their toe caught in like between the mats, like really stupid shit.
Yeah. And that's what we just had to explain to the department was, yes, there will be injuries, but it's not going to be any more than what we're already seeing in like our academy.
And you're still, again,
programs.
at the end of the day, you're saving, even if you had an officer that had to go, you know, that was injured and, you know, you're still paying him, whatever that looks like. The amount of money that we're saving in just, you know, in lawsuits
Absolutely.
is
Sure.
it has to go down.
Absolutely.
I
Sure.
mean, I know the number. I'm asking the question, but I already know. I mean, we've heard it from other departments saying like, yeah, our use of force cases go, they tank, and
For sure.
it's awesome, and then we're not getting sued. Now we're actually, I mean, are we actually saving money? I don't know if I'd go that far, but right, you know,
Right. Yeah.
you know.
No, I agree.
It works.
I don't have the breakdown of all that numbers,
Yeah.
but 100% of this is helped out tremendously.
So the question everyone wants to know is, all this body cam footage that ends up on the internet, is that the police putting it out there, or is it public record?
It's public record. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You have to do
You
an
have to
open.
put in
You would
a
have to put an
request.
open records request to get that information.
Can you search by like highlight, suplex?
Right? I wish we could. That would be.
But is that like a, what is it called? Like a freedom of information
That's
request?
right.
What's the
Yeah.
abbreviation for that? Freedom of information. A FOIA.
FOIA.
FOIA request, right?
Yeah,
Same
exactly.
locally, right? That's
yeah.
what
We
they
do,
do.
and of course, we just call open record request, and anybody could do that. Now we will redact certain things, obviously, from that. We're not going to, depending on what it is, but yeah. I mean,
Okay,
that's
so
something
off color question: how many times are you guys being attacked by naked people?
more
'Cause in
than
the-
I would like to say.
Okay. Because people, they make it sound in the movies like it happens all the time. Like you just go to a disturbance, there's just some naked dude who's drunk and they run at you.
It definitely does happen.
I can
and
remember
it's
once that happened to me. Yeah.
yeah, me too. I think every
Do
officer
you
has
approach
experience.
it
Yeah.
differently? Because I'm less likely to shoot a double leg. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It makes you stop and think for a second. Right? It's like,
This might be a taser situation, actually.
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, well, also too, when I trained officers, rookies, and I would say, you would hear the call, someone naked doing this, whatever it is in the call, and you're like, and that officer's like, ooh, trying to get there fast. Let's see what's going on. And I'm like, buddy, trust me.
Take your time.
You do not want to see this.
50-50,
This is not going to be a
there's
good something to see.
Are you guys, is anybody coming to you guys? Like you went to Mesa, Arizona, or you went to that department, you spoke to them. Are people coming to you now? Are you guys like, are you giving them that information as well? Like paying it forward?
Yeah, and definitely, I would say any department that listens to this and wants to reach out to us, man, we'll be more than glad to show you the policies and stuff that we put into place and the things we wrote on it. So
You guys seem to, like, again, we've been talking about this for a long time, and you guys seem like you've had a much smoother road than a lot of the departments where it's just like, no, they won't, they don't, we've got to do it on our own.
And listen,
the higher ups hear about something like, hey, you guys can't do that. Again, I mean, New York City being, I think, the worst case, the worst, I guess, their implementation of like, you can't do this, 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 and this. And it's just like, okay, so you basically don't want me to do jiu-jitsu is what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, they've been the worst offenders, but yeah, I mean, I don't, you guys have had a much smoother road than most, it seems, which I'm happy about. I'm happy that that's happening because it wasn't like that even just 6 years ago.
And it wasn't for us back in the day. I mean, like I said, they've never been against it as us training it, but it was like making it a full-time thing or whatever. Do we really got to do that? Because that's a lot, right? Like you said, what cost, the whole, people getting injured, all those thoughts come into play. It definitely once they decided, yep, we'll be behind this thing, I think it has been smooth, right? It's like, yep, let's make it work and let's get behind it and be the ones out there getting it and going with it.
Both married?
Yep.
You're both married. I'm always interested because I didn't have the easiest time with my girlfriend who became my wife, who's now my ex-wife. I spent so much time doing jiu-jitsu, and especially in the beginning, 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, like as a white belt.
You mean being a healthy American?
Yeah,
that's right.
I was just like more jiu-jitsu. I was at home. I'm watching jiu-jitsu. How has jiu-jitsu affected that relationship? Now, at the time, I should say, after a few years of me doing jiu-jitsu, she found kickboxing. More of like the, hit the punching bag, not sparring, but like
cardio kickboxing.
Better than than the I love kickboxing style.
Yeah.
She was at a gym where, you could spar a little bit, you're hitting pads and things like that. But, it's mostly women and they're not getting in the ring, But she found that, got obsessed, and then she understood jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. You've been doing it a little bit longer. Were you married when you started jiu-jitsu, or you started jiu-jitsu in college? Yeah. Sorry, you said you were in college.
He was a lady.
So I mean, how did that? Like again, I was maybe more so than most, but I was consumed by jiu-jitsu. What was that like in your personal life?
Yes, I was the same way, and now so maybe even more. It's kind of the opposite for me. Than most people. Like it ramped up for me.
Well, now it's the job.
Now it's work,
and it's work.
It is the job.
And then I'm still coaching a lot of fighters, right? So I'm still out of town. I think I looked up the other day, I'd flown round trip flights, like 9 this year so far for fights. I'm very fortunate. My wife is like the biggest supporter, right? Even, I mean, and a lot of times you've been around the MMA, fights come up sometimes like, hey, we're leaving
tomorrow.
Hey, that's how Cody, his last fight, he called me. It was like, I think it was on a Friday, and it's like, hey, I just took a last minute fight. We got to fly out. Can you go? And I'm like, yeah. But I call my wife and tell her, and she knows what I need to pack. And a lot of times I'll get home, it's packed, and she's
that's awesome.
cheering me on. Yeah. And the few times
she's the go get 'em tiger kind of.
Very much so, like that's the support rock, right?
Daddy brings home the check.
I mean, she told me the other day, like when I remember this, like sometimes, you start complaining, like, got to get on another flight again, about to head back out. And she's like, remember, you're now living the life that you once dreamed of.
Yep. You don't have to, you get to.
Right. And I was like, man, that kind of hit home. I was like, it's nice having that, that support. And I think you need that if you have a home life, right?
Yeah. Don't complain about the life that you wish for.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Just be.
But I mean,
that's what
you
your
do
wife
need
is
that
for.
support. You do need that support. I know
100%.
His wife is super supportive, and she helps you out at the gym. And
I got very lucky. Like we started
right?
dating the month before I opened the gym.
Yeah.
And so she's been
She
with
knew what
me.
she was getting.
Yeah.
My
She didn't have a
wife, I
choice.
found jiu-jitsu after I was already living with my wife.
Like,
or with my
we met
girlfriend.
after I'd come back from my third time coaching internationally. So there's this is what I do. And I'm 100% sure if it wasn't, I would have been forced out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How about you?
My wife's very supportive. Obviously, she wants me home with her
you
too.
can tell us what you really want to tell us.
No, she's 100%.
She is great. I have no complaints.
Hold on,
I love you, baby. Yeah, exactly.
She sent me with a
I got a text. I was supposed
My
to
wife
read.
is the best cook.
No, she's very supportive. Really helped a couple of years ago when my daughter started training some too.
Oh, yeah?
And then she was jumping in, and so
is
she was
she
like,
training?
She's not anymore. She turned 13, and it was kind of like, well, I'm kind of getting that age where it's
12 to 16. It's hard to
that
keep
weird
them in.
time.
Phone boys,
But
girls.
man, she was training, doing very well, and so my wife's there helping out with that, getting her there and doing things like that. So she really enjoyed it then. I think that really, and she saw that. But my wife has been very supportive because she knows she wants me to come home at night too, right? Yeah. So that training, she knows it's important for us. And so she was always supportive of that.
It blows my mind. Like you get, like, I'd want you home. It's like, I would rather not get stabbed.
That's right.
Or by accident or something. Like, oh, you're so selfish. I wanted to watch Housewives.
Yeah.
That's
she
what
knows I'm going to do. Listen, I can't sit at home and just do nothing anyway. So like, this is a better hobby to have than a lot of different things, right? And so she understands that and she's good with it. But you know, like
any other kids?
I've got two daughters. Yeah.
How old?
My oldest is in college. She's 21 years old. She's doing the college thing, and then my youngest is 13.
Okay.
Yep.
So the 13.
How old are you?
I am 45.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
Baby face.
Started early.
Made my day.
Me too.
That's right.
Yeah. When you said in college, I was like, 15, 16?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. You should be married before you know it.
Just don't start that. That's right.
Like 3 weeks ago, my daughter got married.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
The pictures were lovely.
Thank you. I don't even have all the pictures. I haven't even put out a picture of me and her walking down the aisle yet. Yeah.
I can't. I'm gonna cry like a bitch.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
When my daughter gets married, I'm done.
The daddy-daughter dance, I was a mess.
Oh.
I'm like, I walked up and I like, hold on, and I took out a tissue, and I'm like, okay, let's go, we can dance.
100%. Yeah, I'll be crying.
Yeah, I was gonna say though that I feel like just from being somebody in a jiu-jitsu academy now for 12 years, I've seen kids leave and come back years later. Like, didn't I? Like they take that break again, and then it's hard to push them. Right?
And that's what I did. I didn't want to pressure her. I said, hey, okay, you want to do something else?
How long did she train before she quit?
Oh man, she trained for a good solid 2.5, 3 years. Okay. I mean, she was, doing good, going to tournaments and killing them, man. It was, so when she said she didn't want to do it anymore, kind of broke my heart.
I'd bring in the conversation.
You're grounded.
I would definitely bring the conversation back, like before she goes away to college. Like, listen, you kind of need to know.
And she knows that. I keep it in her ear. I was like, hey, you think about coming back? No, not yet, Dad. Or not, but that's why I didn't want to push her. I said, hey, if she wants to come back to it, I want it to be on her own. I want her to do it. And
when
want to stay
she was training, did you have like in my family, but it's also my life. Yeah. Like in my family, we train twice a week. Yeah. You don't have to do 5 days a week. You never have to compete. That's right. But eventually you're going to go to college. You're going to go out. You're going to meet someone. Some girl.
It's like learning how to swim.
Right. Yeah. Someone's going to try and mess with you.
That's right.
And you got to be able to handle your business. Right. Yeah. So like we do twice a week.
Yeah.
Period.
Your daughter's how old?
She's 6.
She's 6?
She will be 6 in January.
So she just knows she's training twice a week.
Yeah. And she likes it because I pick her up from school early.
The gym is like almost an extension of the home for you, right?
It's a playground. It's a padded playground.
Yeah.
And she's got X amount of friends in this room and X amount of friends in that room and 39 million uncles that are all nice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's awesome. How about, any kids?
I do. I have a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter.
Train or?
So my son does. My daughter, she's special needs. So, training. Not really feasible for her, but my son, yes, big time. He wrestles year round now.
I knew there was some wrestling. I knew there was some wrestling in there.
Do you know the guys down at Rush in Macon?
Bubby Mitchell.
Yeah. I like Bubby and his guys.
Yeah, they're good guys over there.
So
Cole Miller's right down the road too, and Warner Robbins.
Winter Robbins?
Warner Robbins.
Yeah. I like, Chase Boutwell? He's one of Bubby's guys.
Yes, I was say I know.
You're saying, but he's saying Bobby. You're saying Bubby, but is it Bubby? Is it Bubby?
Bubby.
Oh, Bubby. Okay.
Yeah, great, awesome dude. The guys in Georgia, fantastic. All the ones I've met, I love.
Frickin' wrestlers, man. I mean, this is like, who knew that? Like, as far as when fast forward to the UFC, who would have really? I guess nobody realized it. Like, that's the one. That's the path. Like having that wrestling pedigree. And bringing that, wrestling and then understanding grappling and jiu-jitsu, bringing that into the UFC. I mean, some of our best champs have been
wrestling.
Wrestling.
Dude, wrestling doesn't even work. You can't submit. Whatever.
I mean, that base, it's such a great transition for.
Their wrestling wouldn't be any good if they didn't know submissions.
And I'll say on the law enforcement side too, like a lot of our jiu-jitsu program, a lot of it is aspects I take from wrestling as well, right? Because it's pinning and control.
Yeah.
Right, which bleeds right over into law enforcement. We're typically trying to pin somebody down, gain control of them.
You did mention pinning before. You mentioned like pinning against the wall, right? Did you say pinning against the wall? Are you guys actively working on like, okay, this is how you work with a partner, like holding somebody against the wall? Like, have you done that? I know like EFC is big on that, Jiu-Jitsu 5.0, like working with a partner.
Yes. So we had several of our officers went to the EFC program. I tried to get everybody that's in jiu-jitsu as many as I could.
It ain't
into
cheap.
EFC.
No,
No,
It ain't cheap.
No,
no, it's not.
And I think we sent maybe 5 of ours to the EFC out of the jiu-jitsu program to bring it back, right? So we have that knowledge to add to it. And then the good thing about it's like we have padded walls as well, just like the MMA gym. You know, they went there and got the knowledge. Now let's bring it back and do a lot of live scenarios and turn it into skill.
Yeah.
You know, can you do this while the pressure's on, right? Live resistance. So we get to actually build the skill out of it now, not just, you know, they gathered the knowledge.
I like that they call it like they pressure test a lot of stuff. Again, Jiu-Jitsu 5.0, Jason from Jiu-Jitsu 5.0 has been on. We've had Jay Wadsworth on a few times. Who's the last guy that we had?
Well, we've had so many.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you.
I mean, it's one of my favorite subjects to talk about because I think there's just so much happening in that space, and it's just I know from my dad. I'll still ask him nothing. They didn't have any continuing ed. Like you didn't have to do anything. He's like, I had to qualify with my pistol. That's about it. Once a year. That's it. But he used to take care of himself, and a couple of cops lived on our block, and they would all jog together. But that was it. There was no, they would jump in rope and running, and there was no martial arts or.
Came out.
Well, I think there's also, again, pre-social media. He had the little freaking, the baton, and he had the blackjack. I used to be like, Dad, what is this thing?
That thing is so cool.
It was like, it's on his nightstand with his change and his keys, and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, that's for this. So I mean, it was just a different time, But again, times change, and then again, that's why I asked before about the social media side of things. I think that's a big put. Just cameras in general, like getting caught doing something stupid. I have a buddy, and not to talk bad about the police department, but I have a buddy who was an NYPD cop, and I remember when he was in the academy, he came out of the Army, he went into the police academy, and he I think he got his assignment. I believe he was in a precinct, and in the precinct, they told him, like, if somebody runs from you, when you catch them, you give them a couple extra shots. Yeah. That was that was standard operating procedure back then. We're talking 30 years ago. So I remember hearing that. I had taken the test in the city. I wanted to be a cop.
Maybe my
and I'm
parents were
hearing
cops
that.
when
I'm
I
just
was
like,
young.
whoa, what am I about to get myself into? But I mean, that was just the thinking back then, But,
think about it in the
obviously
80s.
it's changed.
No, it's the 80s, right? You run from your mom or your dad. You don't want to get spanking. You get a couple extra shots.
I mean, we're talking 90s. Well, that's 90s, mid 90s. He's on the job, so
I guess.
different time.
The Attitude Era was a crazy time.
The
No
Attitude
wrestling.
Era.
This is WWF.
I remember that.
That one went flat, my friend.
All right, listen, we're going to do something that we call
The drill down.
These are the most popular questions that we get from just about, like, whenever we put out the questions post, these are the ones that most people wind up sending. So we just put them all at the end of the show. So, again, we call it the drill down. So I'll go to both of you. You guys can elaborate if you want, but we'll go through these a little bit faster than the typical questions. So, preference, gi or no gi?
No gi.
No gi.
Gi.
I like this guy. Takedown or pull guard?
Takedown.
Takedown.
Takedown. Okay. I hope you're not pulling guard out there.
No. One day someone's going to say Imanari roll.
Favorite submission?
Darce or arm triangle?
See, I was going to say arm triangle, but I'll go Kimura.
Okay.
For me.
Now, interesting. I don't know if that we've in this situation with you're running a gym within the police department. Music during rolling.
Absolutely.
You have
Just
music
the
on?
screams of the innocent.
I like it.
You
My
like it?
gym
Yes.
that I train at mostly no music.
No music.
Just heavy breathing.
It's heavy breathing.
Yeah.
I like to set the vibe.
My gym, they lower it during instruction. It's on in the beginning during warm ups.
Yeah.
It gets lowered during instruction, but as soon as they're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go ahead, practice this move, they turn it up.
Yeah.
And they turn it back, and then
What
it's on.
kind of music do you play?
Mostly
That's the
classic
next one.
rock.
Music
I was about to
preference.
say he's
Yeah.
like a Metallica guy over here.
When I'm in there in the police department, classic rock typically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? If you got control of the dial?
Yeah, I mean that's good. I like that too.
He's
Yeah.
going to go with death metal.
Yeah. No.
What would you be doing if you hadn't found martial arts? Or let's include the police department. What if you hadn't found law enforcement? What do you think you'd be doing?
Guess I'd be a lost demon soul, man.
Oh, let's say if you were already a martial artist, so if you hadn't found martial, again, we're normally asking somebody probably like a gym owner or somebody that's a practitioner. But John, what would you be doing if you hadn't? Let's say the police. Well, what would you be doing if you hadn't found the police, the law enforcement, where you also found jiu-jitsu?
Man, so I'd probably be, my dad did heat and air conditioning, right? So I'd probably be doing something like that. Just
It's a good job. It's a good job.
Oh yeah,
Honest
great
work.
job, right?
Yeah.
But I'd probably be
Crawling in attics and crawl spaces.
That's probably what I would have done, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But have you seen the bills they send you?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'll crawl in an attic for 116 an hour, bro.
Yeah.
So are you guys, do you like watch a lot of stuff online? Are you like consumers of jiu-jitsu, like on YouTube? Or I know you're studying, you said you have to study tape, right? You're studying tape. So
Oh yeah, that's probably. I mean, I set aside. I try to get a minimum of 8 hours of film study a week.
really
Yeah, kind of stay regimented on that. Whether it's for fighting, for law enforcement,
That's
right?
hard.
for somebody you're coaching or for yourself or for the job.
Right, to stay relevant, I think you have to. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rapidly evolving thing still, and if you hadn't changed up your game some of the past 5 years, you're obsolete.
Yeah.
You know, you got.
How about you, John? Are you?
Yeah. I teach a 6 a.m. class at the academy too. And so I'm studying.
Why do you guys punish yourselves like this? It's so early.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Jiu-jitsu,
Some
man.
people want it, man. You gotta,
It's so early.
I agree. It's early.
You got to give the people what they.
I had
Yeah.
members going, "Can we do a morning?" And I had like 10 guys. They're like, morning.
Nobody shows up.
And I'm like, "When do you want to start?" And I let them pick the date, pick the time, and every single one of them before that day, like, "Oh, I can't make it." I'm like, "That's why it doesn't exist."
I'm good at 9 or 10 on the
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
Like on the week, I like to get if open mats at my school Sunday. My old school Saturday and Sunday was 9 a.m.
Now that I'm in my 40s,
I used to
can't
love
do
it. I can get
It's
jiu-jitsu out
hard.
in the morning. I just love it. But then I'm also like passing out on the couch at 12.
in my
more of a
20s,
noon
10 a.m.
guy.
was my favorite. But now that I'm old, I can't evenings. I can't roll in the morning. My body's like still stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny you mention that. I do struggle with the 10 to get out and roll. I'm like, still.
I can teach, but like the thought of being drenched, sweaty at 10 a.m. I was like, not interested.
Not appealing. Not appealing.
So what is the ultimate goal? And I'm going to be specific. Usually I'll say what is the ultimate goal in martial arts, but what do you feel like? Let's change that question a little bit to in the next 5 years, where do you want to see the department's program?
I would like to see it where we have, a pipe dream. Again, now I'm starting to realize they do actually come true, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it'd be awesome if we had 50% of the department and they're realizing that, hey, this is something we need that's important for us,
You could be
for the
saving
people
your
that we
life
serve,
or your,
too.
or your partner's life, or
right?
Can we increase in participation by 5% annually? Out of 700 something people, that's
think
like
so.
8 people.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
if you can hit those marks, you'll be 50% before
yeah.
you know it.
Yeah. And I
John,
think with
how-
implementing,
And it'll become culture, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming the guys in the room are younger guys, right? Not the old heads.
no,
and
we've
so-
got some.
Okay, but the minority, I'd assume.
Yeah.
So as the new guys are coming in, they see the guys right above them are in the program, and the guys right above them are in the program, and then everyone else is aging out. So you're going, well, am I new school or am I old school? Am I part of the crew or am I part of the old guys that don't have to? And that in itself is just going to peer pressure them in.
Yeah.
Like having a chief that does jiu-jitsu at the top that's gonna be an amazing day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any like the old timers or like maybe some of the higher ups that aren't on the road like come in and check out a class or roll? No?
They do. I mean, not so much.
Do they come in and do, hey, let me take a peek at what you guys got going on? Like,
They're definitely behind it. And seeing that. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
But you don't have any of those guys coming in? I started when I was 41,
Yeah.
so I'm like, old timers. We want to roll too.
Yeah, we have some. I mean, with the older timers, as far as like rank and stuff like that, not as many.
Yeah.
I'm the only major that goes in there and trains.
How long have you been on the job?
24 years.
You said 10?
Yep.
10, 24. 24.
Outside of him, our highest ranking person that comes in is one of our lieutenants, the female.
Yeah.
Yep, she comes in.
Yeah.
But I'll say, she comes in, leads
Does
the
it.
charge for her troops
That's right.
to push them. So
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just throwing this out there. Okay. IBJJF Atlanta team champion for police department. All you got to do is get everyone to go. You'll get
that's
all the
true.
points. 70 competitors, you'll win the points battle.
Has
just
that,
start signing.
That's it.
who does
Just got to get them signed up.
the police versus stoners thing? Who does that?
High rollers.
High rollers? Have you guys ever?
That's the adopted cop guy, right? Doesn't he do that?
He competed on one of their high rollers cards.
Gotcha.
High rollers, like when they were doing Vegas, obviously you guys would be ineligible, but there was like, here's a joint,
Yeah.
smoke half of it, and start.
No.
But they did do a cops versus stoners down here in South Florida, didn't they?
Probably.
'Cause I think like Drew wound up like he replaced somebody like on the law enforcement side because he was ex-military.
I've seen a lot of like fire versus police jiu-jitsu things or military police, military fire, or in all three, like in like.
Yeah, what about other first responders? I mean, because this is great for EMS, this is great for the fire department, right? A lot, or sometimes that's the same department, right?
If they're coming to the department, they got to pay.
No, but I'm saying like
Sign a
have they embraced it? Is there any crossover with like
A little bit. So
EMS, EMTs?
So I have a friend that's a firefighter that trains for Gwinnett County Fire, and so they've got a little collective that they've got of just officers that get together. And they go to certain gyms and they meet. So they're doing it too.
Like who was talking about? Oh, geez, who did we interview that was talking about like for nurses? Like somebody mentioned like we're developing a program for nurses to be able to deal. You get people that come in freaking.
I don't think I was in that conversation.
Yeah, I forgot. I'll see if I can remember that. We'll talk about it next time. All right. So last question: who was the gi guy? Do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu belt?
Definitely wash.
Yeah.
How frequently?
Good. Because you're supposed to.
If not every class after you roll, at least the next one. Like if I'm going to go to another one the next day.
Your belt.
The belt. No, I'm clear.
Every time.
Maybe not every time, but at least it's coming in that weekly. It's coming in at least.
What belt are you at this point?
Purple belt.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think he's just trying to wear that belt out, Coach?
That's right.
And he's being like, Coach, look how long, look how worn it's a belt.
Yeah. On it, right?
Man.
Belt washer or
100%.
You wash it? Good for you.
I thought you were going to
Good
say
man.
what belt.
I keep
Good man.
I still train gi a couple times a week because I have to teach a gi class, but I keep I think four belts.
I was a every session belt washer. I always had 2 belts. Came home, threw everything in the wash. Yep. I've said this. I've only at black belt did I stop. I spray it with either Lysol or I have something called Nutrizone Clean. They used to be a sponsor of the show. I love the stuff too. It's a spray. You can put it on your body. I put it on my face after training, but hang it at the house and I spray it. So only because I don't want the black belt to this. I want to have this one for a longer time. That's the main reason. But I did get a new one from Flow and Roll, and it's still, I've washed it a few times, but it's still got like the kinks in it, which is kind of good that it's staying hard. So I've washed it a few more times just to soften it up. Yeah. But otherwise, you got to wash your freaking belt.
No, it's funky if you don't, man.
All right, listen, guys, we're gonna do a couple of quick shout outs here, just to some of our sponsors, but I appreciate you guys coming in. Let me give you a second. Do you want to, any shout outs, anybody you want to say hello to? I'll give you a couple minutes if you guys want to, thank anybody. I want to thank my wife for being
absolutely being supportive, right?
Hey, this is that time.
100%. Yeah, no, definitely family and friends that are supportive. The police department for sure, man. Thank you for everybody at the Gwinnett County PD for just being supportive of this program and pushing it out there. That's great. I train at Ironborn Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. Alex Daltro is my professor. Shout out to those guys and everybody there that trains with me. Man, they push us every day. So it's a great place to be.
Wade?
Yeah, I would say the small local businesses that have donated to us, right, to try to see us.
You mentioned a bunch of them earlier in the episode.
Barber Orthopedics, Tribe Mechanical, Ageless Physique, that all got together, made rash guards just to show support, which means a lot.
They donated that stuff to you guys. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yep,
that's awesome. Yeah, man. I'm listen. I have a really good relationship with Flow and Roll. If you ever guys need anything, hey, Milton told us to call. What could you do for us? He's really cool.
Hey, fellow jiu-jitsu dummies. Think about this. How well do you know the people who are training your kids? Does your academy run background checks on all staff members, not just the owner? That's why there's Academy Safe. We mandate those checks, plus crucial U.S. Center for Safe Sport certification and concussion training. But we require even more. Our accredited gyms must also have defibrillators on premises, CPR, first aid, and AED certification, security cameras, verification of coach lineage and ranks, and business insurance. Don't guess. No. Demand safety for your family. Find an accredited gym at academysafe.org. Academy Safe, the highest standards in martial arts safety.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Is your business getting lost online? Black Belt Digital Marketing is a full-service digital marketing agency that helps you get found, get leads, and grow. We specialize in local and website SEO, so your business stands out when customers search. Our website SEO makes sure your site loads fast, ranks high, and stays ahead of AI-driven search, so customers find you first. More visibility, more clicks. More customers right when they're ready to buy. Grow your business online with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com or call 9542-204932 today.
Shout out to Leo Optics. We got to do this. There you go. Now, shout out to Leo Optics, the go-to brand for sunglasses and apparel featuring these unique bamboo sunglasses. And I got a surprise for you guys.
Those are sweet.
Now, I don't know the two that are in here. He's got a whole bunch of different styles. I don't know. They're in there. I haven't opened them. So I'm going to put these here.
Awesome.
You guys can decide which ones you guys like better. But those are a pair of layout
police
sunglasses.
are only allowed to wear aviators.
Yeah. They do have this
You're
this
the boss.
little
You got to.
Oh, yeah.
they have this little
Nice.
It's going to have the red one.
Hey,
It's okay.
The
You can
goal
still
is to
wear
get there,
them.
my friend.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Wade gets two
But
of them.
for
right.
listeners,
Bingo.
if you do buy a brand new pair, you can request your color belt.
cool.
They'll
Very
give you the
cool.
stripe. So you can check these guys out at leooptics.com. Use code JJD for 10% off your order. They are also supporters of Academy Safe. These are the last two sets of glasses that he gave me in the last shipment that he gave me. He gives me a bunch to give out to people on the show. I only give them out to people I like. Again, leooptics.com. Use code JJD for 10% off. That's it. Our shout outs are short here at the end of the episode. Thank you guys for coming down. Again, I know you made a trip down here. I appreciate it. If you know anybody around that, would be a great interview, you mentioned like Mesa, the crew from Mesa. If you've got a contact out there,
sure
hey, just hit me with the message on IG, share their Instagram, put us in a message together, anything like that. Same, if you want to come back down and grab Mike, I know we had talked about Mike might come down with you. You want to come back and do it again, just let me know. We're booking a couple of months out in advance, so you got to let me know in advance, and we pick a day and what have you. And even one of you fighters, if you want to bring a fighter on, and we'll talk a little bit about jiu-jitsu. Again, you guys are open invite. Right. Check us out, everyone, at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. My IG is Uncle Milty BJJ, and give him another go through.
We'll start it from the top. I'm going to add one in here because I'm inspired by you guys today. I want to give a shout out. If you're a police officer working for, with, or near the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, please reach out to me in some way. Instagram, email, phone number. I would love to get involved.
Carrier pigeon.
I don't know how to read carrier pigeon messages. But please get a hold of me. I would love to work with your department, get your police in the gym or myself in your department, and help our community grow in this aspect of law enforcement. Please reach out to me. If you're not familiar with our facility, we are American Top Team Palm Beach Gardens. We are the premier mixed martial arts facility in North Palm Beach. The best. The absolute best. So reach out. We'd love to help. We'd love to be involved. Other than that, online, I am MMA Coach Ben on Instagram. I post instructional videos, tons of clips from these shows.
Great
and all
stuff. Great
sorts
follow.
of-
If you guys don't follow him, he's a great follow.
There's all sorts of combat sports on there. I'm a professional cut man, a coach, commentator. On top of this, it's all over the place. Check out MMA Coach Ben on Instagram. And last but not least, Fight Tape. The absolute best in athletic tape, gauze, anything combat oriented. If you are looking for your own look, your own stickers, your own printing, we can white label for you. Just hit us up, fighttape.us on Instagram. Hit the shop, message me. We'll get you whatever you need. And I
tees
think,
on there too. You get the Hammer Jiu-Jitsu tees on there still, right?
yeah,
Some of them, right? And
all
fight.
of that old school hardcore hammer jiu-jitsu stuff still available. Jump on, check it out, and enjoy
All right.
jiu-jitsu.
That's it, guys. Anything to add?
No, thanks
We're
for having
good?
us. We appreciate you.
Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu. Oh.